So today we are back with another Bollywood review because today I'm going to be reviewing for you Dhurandhar, and I had to give it myself a few times to really find a way to pronounce that because I was finding it hard to pronounce and I didn't want to, be disrespectful and mispronounce it in the video. So I put the effort in and I managed to figure out the fact that it's called Dhurandhar because some of these films I watch, these Indian movies, some of the titles they can be hard to pronounce, so I went out of my way to make sure I knew how to pronounce it. So there is that, but what you need to know about this is that I have done other Bollywood film reviews. Not all of them are Hindi language Bollywood film reviews, but I have done Indian movies, and I have started to, in the past while or so, sort of kind of find an enjoyment out of these films. It took me a while to really get into this type of cinema, and every now and again I watch one of these movies. I always give myself a break in between these films as they can be quite a marathon, and especially this film we're talking about today, Dhurandhar, which is over 3 hours long. Yeah, these films can be a marathon, so there is that. And so I will give you a rundown of what the film is about. I've got actually the plot description on Netflix on my phone because I'll be able to describe it a bit better. So it as follows, right? We have, in the highest grossing Hindi film of all time, power clashes erupt in Karachi's gangland underbelly as criminals, informants and operatives collide. So the whole film is pretty much centred around, it's like, I would say parts of it feel like a spy thriller movie where they're all trying to figure out who is behind everything that's going on, but then it also feels like a political battle movie where one of the guys, another guy, everybody is trying to form together to make sure this one guy gets elected and things like that. So that's pretty much what the film is about. There's points where it also does depict events in history in India, and it also depicts stuff where they're in this town, Karachi as they say in the description there. That's a place in Pakistan where it all goes down in this one small town and stuff like that. So what I will start off with is that when I watched the trailer for this, I thought this was going to be action guns blazing, chaos all the time, and to a certain extent it does have the action. It does have that action where it is just crazy gunfights and then blood and there's explosions and bombs and all that like that. You obviously get a bit of that in the film, but it's also more of about like a pretty big epic where we follow this character and he goes on a journey, and then you get to follow the other characters going on this exact same journey. It's split into chapters, it's split into timelines, so it goes into chronological order. It starts from the very beginning and it goes straight to the end. And what I like about this movie is that it is a chapter kind of based film where it is split into parts, so you can kind of feel the fact that, while it's 3.5 hours, there's actually structure to the film. It's not like that's 3.5 hours and it's all crazy and it's messy and you don't know what's going on. No, it actually does give you a chance to understand the story as it's going along. It has chapters, it stops, pauses, gives you a chapter moment so you can understand where the story's going. So I do like that because in certain Indian films they don't really do the chapter sequence where there's like a chapter moment and then it cuts to the next bit and then you get a feel for the story and then it goes to another chapter moment. Most of them, they just go straight through the whole story without breaking it up into parts. So I do like the fact the movie does try something different there with that structure to the storyline. And also, I like the fact that the story keeps building as you keep watching it. Like, you know, it does have the action and all of that, but when it starts to build up the story, build up the drama, build up the tension, that's when I get engaged the most. And the fact that this movie's over 3 hours and I was not bored once, it just kind of says it all, doesn't it? It says that I enjoyed the movie. Sure, I would even say there are moments throughout this film where I could say these moments are from other films I've watched in this kind of genre, where there is that kind of love dynamic where it is cheesy and then it's a bit, you know, they're in love with each other and all of that, and you get the cliches that come with that. There is that part of the film, but overall I enjoyed this movie because it actually surprised me in a certain way. Like, it was kinda had a different twist to it compared to some other Indian movies. It had a chapter sequence, it had a structure to it, it had a certain different flow to the film, and I do like that they do go all out with the action as per usual in these types of movies. They just go nuts crazy with the action because it gives you some entertainment and all of that at the end of the day. And I also like the fact that there is music in the movie. It doesn't try to spam the film with music though. Like, it tries to build the story, it tries to build up the characters, tries to, you know, give you a feel for the events that were happening in the movie, and you can go and you can look up the events that they depicted in this film. And to say the least, the events aren't the most, you know, happiest things ever, because there is a moment throughout the film where they do show you an audio tape of what happened in this movie, and it's not pretty good what happened. It kind of depicts the fact that there was these attacks in India and Pakistan sort of thing, and there's long history about all of that. So if you want to do some research, there is the Wikipedia page where it does tell you the timeline with the movie and all that, like with the attacks and stuff, and they do mention how it was like in 2008 it all happened. So all of that stuff to be considered. I enjoyed this movie. It was different to what I was expecting when I watched like a clip of the film, like a quick trailer with just action moments, because it's more than action, it's a lot more than that. It's a big story, it has a time to breathe for the storyline, it gives the characters all a moment, and also it is actually getting a sequel, which I never thought I'd expect from the film. I know it's a big movie, it's a big epic storyline, but I wasn't expecting it to really go for that, where it was going to show you the fact that they're going to be bringing you another film. And that's what kind of happens at the end of the movie, without spoiling, is that the movie teases the fact that they are planning to release a second part of this movie. I believe it's come out in March, so it's not actually that far away now, so maybe I'll go see the second part at the cinemas. It depends entirely if I want to wait till it's out on the TV or go out and see it in the cinema. So there is all of that. So overall, give this one an 8 out of 10 because there was style to the film. Felt completely different to what I thought this type of genre usually does. It does give you action, but it gives you a lot more than action in the movie. So yeah, stay tuned for more reviews like this one. That's been my review of Dhurandhar, and stay tuned for more reviews because I'll be back for more. Stay tuned and see you later for another review on the James Ramlin Reviews. Goodbye.